So today we're talking about scatterplots. We talked about what is a scatterplot. We said it was a graph of points or a graph of data. Each point has a coordinate point as an x and a y, and you can place it on a grid or a quadrant. We said some types of features of scatterplots, like they have a trend, which could be positive, negative, or also known as a correlation is another one we'll talk about it. So we get to scatterplots and correlation. So we have three types of correlation that a scatterplot can have. It can either have positive correlation, negative correlation, or no correlation. So positive correlation, and this is probably all stuff you learned in the past. Positive correlation is if your x increases, if one variable increases, your other variable increases. So as we go farther and get larger numbers in the x, you should get larger numbers in the y as well. As one variable increases, the other increases as well. Negative correlation is the opposite. As x increases, your other variable decreases. So as we get larger numbers in x, our y gets smaller and smaller and gets lower numbers. So that is a negative correlation. Lastly, we have no correlation. So no correlation means there's like no relationship. The numbers are just all over the place. They're scattered. What was that? I guess it kind of makes it square. But it doesn't really tell us anything about the relationship of the data. There's nothing we can really glean from that information. We can't tell if x gets larger, is y going to be larger or negative, or larger or smaller. We don't know because we got points that are like those places. It doesn't tell. So these are the three types of correlations you can have. Notice that if we were to think of this as a slope, the slope of this line, positive correlations have a positive slope, negative correlations have a negative slope, and no correlations have nothing going on. Do we remember this all from previous math classes in the past? You played Simon Says with this before?
Yeah.
No. With the slope? We can play? No. So everyone should have received some graph paper that has 4 quadrants on it, or 4 coordinate grids on it. So we're gonna, I assume we've all done this before, we're just gonna plot some scatter plots, remember how to go through the data, how to plot them out, and just sort of get ourselves back in the remembrance of how to work with scatter plots, so we can be prepared for when we learn something new tomorrow. So today's kind of just a review day. Alright, so I have this scatter plot. I have a grid just like you should. So I have some data. I have time spent studying and then points on a test. So how many or how long in hours or something that this person spent studying or these students spent studying, and then what they scored on that test. So take a moment, see if you can plot this data on your grid and see if you can create a scatter plot and try to determine what type of correlation does it have. Does it have positive correlation, negative correlation, no correlation? See what you can find. So take a moment and try that. Okay, so we should have been able to plot those points by now. We have a positive correlation. We can see as x gets larger, our y, or our points on our test also get larger. So you could say the more you study, the better you do on your quiz. And it's
He studies 6 hours, 10 hours every single day.
But that means you're still studying more. Alright. So we have a positive trend. For these situations, I know sometimes some of us want to connect the dots and create sort of a connection through them. With these scatter plots, don't worry about that for now. Don't worry about connecting the dots. Don't worry about creating a line. We'll talk about what we'll do with that tomorrow with our line of best fit. But for now, just plot the points and that's all you need. You don't need to connect them at all with everything. Are we okay with this one?
Yeah.
Bradley, you look a little confused. Are you okay?
Yeah, fine. I just can't see.
Were you able to get your points? You're good?
Yeah, I do all that.
Alright, so I have another set of points for you. There's days after spraying herbicide and then weeds in the garden. To see if you can figure out what type of correlation. So we should have been able to plot our points. We had 115, 312. So what type of correlation do we call this?
Negative. Negative.
Negative. It's actually fairly
Positive, right?
straight together. So good. We have, as our number of days increase with after spraying the herbicide, the number of weeds decrease. So they're dying off as our herbicides get larger. It's good. All right. Last one. We have the height of students in inches plus 5 feet. So it's 5 feet, however many inches. And then the points they scored on their last quiz. So see if you can plot this data. The height the student is in inches and their points they scored on their last quiz.
Wait, yeah.
So we should be able to plot these last points. What type of correlation is this?
No, this is no correlation. I was right.
No correlation.
What?
Let's listen up. So, based off of the correlation with these graphs, they're often going to ask you questions. They might not ask you on your state test or on the test. They might not ask you, like, what type of correlation it has, but it might be something more specific, like, based off this data, what can you discern? So based off this data, what can you discern? No correlation, but what does that mean? What does no correlation mean for data? So the height of a student does not affect the points at all. You can see there's no relationship, no correlation, no trend between the two. So with these scatterplots, we're always looking for what is it saying. So we're able to plot the data, but it's always taking that next step and determining what is the data actually saying. That's super important. So is there a relationship? What does that mean? If I were to make if I were to add another student on there, would I be able to guess what their height is or guess what their points are? So one thing is being able to plot the points. The next is being able to actually discern what the data is asking for. So for your last one, I want you to make your own set of data for a friend. It can be over whatever you want. You can make up whatever numbers as long as it fits in that point. So make sure your x isn't larger than 12 and your y isn't larger than 16. Make sure it fits on your graph. Try to think of some sort of trend to put with it. It could be positive, it could be negative, it could be no correlation. And then give that information to a person sitting next to you or a partner and have them try to plot it.
There is enough match in a week.
Name an animal. Giraffes have the same number of vertebrae in their neck as you do.
Can you do that?